up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So could you talk a little bit about like what you do, what your channel's about?
Definitely, yeah. So I had been playing baseball all of my life, and I started umpiring when I was 16. And I found it to be a really amazing job where I was making, upwards of $50 an hour. I was getting to be around baseball, which I loved. And through talking to my friends, I realized that they didn't realize that they themselves could be umpires. And, as I was umpiring, there were huge umpire shortages, both, within my little league and throughout the country. And I, thought that a big reason for that was because, people my age, my friends didn't realize that they could become umpires. So I've done a lot with social media, whether that be, building other businesses, or working on campaigns. So I thought I could do something about it. So I took my iPhone and my 13-year-old little brother. We went to my local baseball field where I've been playing and umpiring all my life. And I started making videos promoting baseball umpires and teaching people how to become one. And the first video got 300,000 views, and it's been going well ever since.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I mean, you don't see many creators focus on the umpire side of baseball, and you don't think of umpire shortages, but it is a true thing. So do you have a goal? Like, do you kind of just want to promote umpires, or do you want to be a major league one yourself? Do you kind of have a goal with this channel in general?
Definitely, yeah. So the goal of the channel is, to be bigger than myself, to be about, all umpires, to show, what it's like to be an umpire at every level, from little league to high school to college to the MLB. So I want to, really continue to grow the umpire channel and, inspire even more people to become umpires. And then, for myself, umpiring wise, I'm just 18, but I've already umpired, in a collegiate summer league, umpired, all the way up to 18U, and then at the college level. So like to, continue umpiring and see where that goes.
I umpired myself. That was like first job I got because you can do it starting at like 12 or 13. It depends what area
Definitely.
you're in. So I did that from about like 12 years old until I was 16, and I really enjoyed it. And I had a couple other buddies in my like in this league that umpired as well. So getting to umpire the game you love with your friends as well, it kind of just builds the community because a lot of people don't think about that side of the umpires. Like they're there to make sure that the game runs smoothly, keep it safe, keep it fun. So I find your mission really cool. And I've seen your content. You go to like an umpire school. Could you talk a little bit about that? Because I don't know if many people really know the full process to building up to become an umpire.
Definitely. Yeah. So, that is exactly the goal of the Umpire channel, where I want to go out and, film with different umpires. So on my channel, I filmed with, like I said, Little League umpires, college umpires, and MLB umpires. So a few weeks ago, I went out to Florida and I filmed at the Wendelstedt Umpire School, which is, one of the places where umpires go to, hopefully pursue a professional career in Major League Baseball. And then I also went out to the MLB umpire prospect development camp, which from that camp, several umpires are selected to work in the minor leagues. And from there, they begin, working their way up to the MLB.
Yeah, do you know how long that process is or what kind of steps that certain umpires have to acquire to make the jump? Because I mean, in baseball in general, for the players to make the jump from league to league, I assume it's like as difficult, kind of the same with umpires. What's it like for that?
Right, definitely. So the odds are stacked against you, but Major League Baseball has recently adopted a new process to become an MLB umpire, where, within this process, it is all about skill. If you're good enough, you are going to, get to the level that you deserve to be at. So the current process to become an MLB umpire is that you attend a 1 day MLB umpire camp, which is run by Major League Baseball throughout the country. They run at different stadiums, different MLB stadiums, and anyone can attend, whether you've umpired, for 10 years in college before or you've never umpired at all. And from those camps, a certain amount of people are invited to what I went out to, the MLB Umpire Prospect Development Camp, which is held at Vero Beach, Florida, at the MLB Umpire. And it's the Prospect Training Development Camp. You go to that camp for a month. It's all expenses paid, and the 1 day camps are free as well, all provided by Major League Baseball. And you go there and you learn from, the best of the best, from, Ed Rapawano, Chris Jones, former Major League umpires who have been there, who know what it takes to get there. And after that camp, the standouts from that camp are selected to work in minor league baseball. and then you really begin your journey where maybe it's 5 years in minor league baseball, maybe it's 10, but now you're able to skip levels. If you're good enough, you could get to the major leagues pretty fast.
That whole system. I mean, I've seen your videos, just seen the hundreds of umpires that come out. And like you said, I find it interesting how they offer this. As you mentioned, you could have so much experience or you could have like no experience at all, and you can still go to the same things, kind of get the same training. Through this, were there any like people that you've met that have like really inspired you or just like kind of cool stories you heard from umpires, like no matter what age they were?
Definitely. Yeah, I would say, that's the best thing of getting to do what I get to do is, meeting these people both at the Wendelstedt Umpire School and at the MLB Umpire Prospect Training Development Camp. I met umpires from all over the world with, so many different experiences. At the Wendelstedt Umpire School, I actually met a man on my first day there named Alua Wafemi, Femi for short, who was the first umpire from Africa to ever attend a pro umpire school, and to be able to hear his story and you know just see how much it meant to him to have worked so hard for so long to be able to come to America and pursue his dream of becoming an umpire, and then bringing that back to his country was really an inspiring thing.
Do you see like a change in demographic with umpires coming up? Because a lot of people, same for baseball. Baseball is one of the most diverse sports. Do you see that coming to the MLB with now umpires?
Definitely. Yeah. There is especially, with this kind of new process where it is simply how good you are and nothing else. If you're good enough, you go to this 1 day MLB umpire camp. And as MLB umpire Hunter Wendell said when I interviewed him, you can't hide a good umpire, you can't hide a bad umpire. You can see within, a drill, within 5 minutes, who has potential, who can be that good. So I definitely see, more diversity, coming into the, pipeline to Major League Baseball and, getting to Major League Baseball. And I, really saw that both at Wendelstead and at the MLB Umpire Prospect Training Development Camp.
Yeah. How long do those camps run? Like you said, it's a day, but does one day mean 2 hours or does it mean like 12 hours kind of on end? How long do those run for?
Right. So the 1 day camp to get into the prospect training development camp is an all day thing, right. It's not even all day, actually. It's more like 9 to 1 p.m. And then once you're selected for the prospect training development camp, that's a month where you're in Vero Beach, very intense, Monday through Saturdays. Typical day there is, wake up 7 a.m. breakfast, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. You're in the classroom, you're learning the fundamentals, you're learning the rules, you're learning every single possible thing that could happen. What happens if a bird gets hit by a pitch? You're going to learn that. What happens if a fielder dives out of the stadium while making a catch? You're going to learn that. And then lunch, and then the rest of the day till about 5 p.m. is on the field, where you're doing drills, you're learning mechanics, you're behind the plate. And then later in the day, there are also, tests on the rules from what you learned that day. So it's a very, intensive process where you're there for a month and you're really getting kind of a crash course in everything you need to know.
Yeah, you bring up a good point about like weird things to encounter because that's happened to me before in umpiring. I see something and I'm like, oh my God, like that's not really a rule. That's just something really weird that happened one game. What is the weirdest thing that you've encountered? I mean, like as you mentioned, a bird getting hit by a ball or something. What is the weirdest thing that you've encountered while umpiring?
Uh, I would say, I've umpired at every level from, like I said, little league to college. Some things that happen, at the younger groups where, a kid goes to the wrong base. I believe I've had, like a kid run to third base instead of first base. But your role as an umpire changes depending on what age you're umpiring. If you're umpiring a college game versus a, 8U game, how you conduct yourself change, has to adapt because at that age it's really all about the kids. So there's definitely some fun experiences at the younger age groups.
That's a good point because younger age groups, you kind of, I mean, you make the call, but then they have the rules. Oh, be more lenient on this because kids are learning. But then, yeah, go to college. It's basically the same things. you get as the MLB. But yeah, there's a lot of weird encounters. I always like seeing just some crazy things that you just don't even think of. I'm trying to recall like the MLB, just some weird things. Like, is there anything off the top of your mind, like maybe the weirdest thing you've seen in an MLB game? Because the one I can think of, I forget his name, Michael Moore or something like that, when he like hit the home run, they called it
Right.
a
Had
double
to
or something, and then they made him
had to
just
go
like
back and run the
brief.
bases.
I think that's the weirdest. Is there anything like stranger that you've seen than that? Because that's what I can think of.
Right. I think yeah, that pretty much tops the list. That was a pretty funny moment.
Yeah, I mean, just tons of incredible things. And you've seen umpires like they hold jobs for like so many years. I mean, 20
Right.
plus years. Um, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure did Joe West just recently retire? Or
Um, I'm not 100% sure. I would have
okay,
to
yeah, I think there might have been someone, or it might be
yeah, there were a lot of retiring.
yeah, there was a lot. So with that, if it was like up to you, I don't know if you know how the scheduling works, but I mean, when you bring in like a whole new role of new umpires, do you know the process, like determining what MLB games they get? I mean, do you just put the more experienced guys on the prime time and then you put the newer guys on like the 1 p.m.s on a weekday? Like, do you know that whole scheduling process?
Right. That would, giving kind of like the lesser priority would more fall to replacement umpires. Once you're, hired to be a full-time MLB umpire, you're in with, you're a full-time MLB umpire. So you're pretty much, getting, whatever game you're assigned to.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. And when you umpired, there's field umps and there's behind the plate. Were you primarily one of those two, or did you have a preference? Because when I did it, honestly, I did like home plate more. I just felt like it kept me more engaged in the game. There was more to do. It was a little more difficult than a field ump at times. Was there a specific position that you prefer to umpire?
Um, no, I would say I don't prefer either. Both are good. And yeah, usually, as you typically umpire, you'll, do one game behind home plate, one game in the field. So I've done, about equal of both.
Yeah, and MLB they confirmed it even more today. Actually, the new rules to speed up the game, or they're trying in the minor leagues, like the where you can like challenge if it's a ball or strike. Do you like that for the game? Being like someone that's umpired for so long, do you like that they're kind of changing the role of the umpires, or do you wish it was back to the original?
Right. I think, it's I think you have to test it out and see and see how it goes. And I'm you know, not necessarily 100% supportive of the idea, but I'm willing to let it happen and see how it goes.
Yeah, I have like my opinion on it. And when I've talked to like Brett Suter and other people, I was trying to get like an MLB batter's point of view or a pitcher's point of view, and they each have their pros and cons for each. So it's interesting to like an umpiring point of view because I mean, if they miss a call, you miss a call. I mean, that's how baseball works. Umpires are known for that. Like if you're 100% umpire, you're literally not from this planet. Like that's just the thing. So I mean as an umpire, I'm trying to think that like automatic, not the automatic, the replay to see if it's a
Right.
ball or strike. I mean, that could like save you if you miss a call, but then also feels like it's kind of changing your job. I just don't really know how to feel about it.
Right. Yeah. I don't, really know either. I think, what people do need to realize is that, this isn't going to be at every, level of baseball. You say, robot umpires are going to replace umpires. They're not because even, if that is the new standard, there will always be, umpires on the field to make the calls. And the robot umpires will only be there at the top level of baseball. Your high school is not going to use a robot umpire.
Yeah, that's definitely a change. And from a player point of view, I wonder how it is. I mean, it's kind of like in Little League when you move up, it's all these new rules. But now in like the minor leagues, the MLB, you might get new umpires, could be robots, could not be. Um, if you were like a minor league player, how would you feel about how they're kind of testing everything out? I mean, even away from umpires, like they're testing out like the shift or the pitch clock. Like, what are your thoughts that they're testing that just in certain leagues and not across all the MLB?
Right. I think, that kind of that is, where they have to test it. And, if I was a minor league player, I don't know that I'd necessarily, like it. But if there's, kind of information to be gained from that, that can, push baseball forward in the future, then, hopefully at a, kind of macro level, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, definitely will be. And going to MLB, we're now less than 50 days away from spring training, I'm pretty sure. Is there anything specifically you're looking forward to? Or are you going to any games or anything like that?
Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I have a lot of exciting videos coming up. This spring I'll be filming with the Savannah Bananas and showing I'll be filming with their umpire behind the scenes and showing what it's like to umpire for the Savannah Bananas. So a lot of exciting videos. I'll be going out to minor league games and major league games, all trying to show from the umpires' perspectives and tell the umpires' stories.
That's really cool. I mean, Savannah Bananas, for anyone watching that doesn't know, I think of them as like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, but like even better than the Harlem Globetrotters, in my opinion. I mean, it's unreal experience. It sells out like every single game. You try to get tickets, and it's like weeks, maybe months, are sold out. So
Right.
I bet that'll be a pretty incredible experience to be able to film all that.
Definitely. I'm, beyond excited.
With filming your content, I mean, you're doing a lot of like minor league filming and all these like previous umpires. I've seen guys, they've like been parts of big games and that you're filming with the Savannah Bananas. Is there like a specific team or a specific umpire that you'd really like to get to know to kind of learn more about?
I would say, I'm really excited to get to know more about, the umpire for the Savannah Bananas, Vincent Chapman. I've, talked with him a lot. I've gone, live with him, created some content with him. But I'm so excited to see, in person, what is it like to be an umpire for the Savannah Bananas? Because that's kind of a story that hasn't been told, and anything having to do with the Savannah Bananas just so exciting.
Yeah, it would definitely be a goal of mine to go to those games. I mean, I see so many videos of that, and even like working for them, playing for them, no matter what it is, it just seems like an overall great experience, no matter where you are as a fan, as a player. It just seems like really great. But that's basically all I got. Just wanted to learn like a little bit more about umpiring. I just find it really cool the content you do because when people think of baseball, they think of the big leagues, they think of the players,
Right.
they don't think of the whole process. I mean, like players, umpires, like when I watch your content, I do not think of that whole umpiring process, even though like I did it just through little league. Like I was like, oh yeah, you train and then you go, but it's like no, like to pursue this as a career. I mean, that is really a lot of steps. And like you said, some of these guys, they've been doing it for like 10 years it takes to get to the big leagues, but they work at it every year. So I just wanted to thank you for being on episode 4 of this because I just find everything you do really incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.